everybody all across the India, all across the world. Today's topic is a very different, unique and interesting topic. And before I start, let me introduce myself. I am Shruti Kaura class. I am one of the top educators at Unacademy. Today, as I just shared with you, we are going to study one of the most different and unique topics that has been discussed till date. Now, the big question is that a case study is no doubt important. Most of the IIMs, they have replaced the group discussions by the case study. But is case study just a solution or solving a hypothetical case or a problem or an issue of a business? Is it just limited to that? Let's go ahead. Let's find out. So, as I just discussed with all of you, I am Shruti Kaura. I am an award winner at Unacademy. So this is a glimpse of my award and my discount code is SCauraLive. Now what is the meaning of discount code? If you use this code all across Unacademy in any of the category, you are going to get the discount, that's for sure. Our codes have the power to give you discounts. So use this code to get the discount. Secondly, as I have shared with you, there are two subscriptions at Unacademy. One is Plus, one is Iconic. For the Plus, how will you get the discount? Over and above all the schemes that are parallelly running at Unacademy. You'll get the benefit of those schemes, but you'll also get the benefit of the discount code. So here you have to enter your discount code and you have to click on apply. Step number 1, look here. Then you have to click proceed to pay. Perfectly fine. Next, all of you, right, please make sure that you inform all the new learners about all the schemes, discounts that are currently going on at Unacademy. Next, as I have just shared with you, the second subscription is of Iconic. Here, again, you're going to get live mentoring, 1:1 sessions. And here, again, the discount code is SCauraLive. Click on apply and then click on proceed to pay. Next, there are a lot of batch courses, lot of batch courses. Please do enroll yourself in those courses. Iconic, how Iconic subscription is different from the Plus subscription? Here, there will be live mentoring for the MBA aspirants. You will get all the benefits of Plus. You will get 1:1 live doubt solving by experts. Please, all of you, note it down. 1:1 live concept discussion with the experts. 1:1 live mentorship by top B school graduates. Yes, I mean business. Top B school graduates. So, how will it feel if it is coming directly from the horse's mouth all across India? So, you can book slots at your convenience. If you go for 6 months, it is just 25,800, 39,500 for 12 and 59,999 for 24. That is for 2 years. Don't you think it's a good deal? Yes, it's a very good deal. Please go ahead, get yourself enrolled. You'll get a chance to discuss, to clear your doubts with the top B school graduates. Next, 4 free full-length mock tests already 17th October, 24th, 31st and 7th, 14th. So now this is a mock test series that is every day, not every day, on Sundays, 12:30 to 2:30. You could be the next one. At least go ahead. If you are, thorough with your CAT preparation, you should go for the All India mock test. Next, how to start CAT 2022 preparation. There will be series of special classes to help you start your CAT 2022 preparations by the top educator. They are starting, they have already started from 12th of November. This is the exam pattern and syllabus for CAT 2022. Benefits of starting the preparation early. Important topics in all the 3 sections. Exam preparation strategy and study plan. These are the free workshops that are going on at Unacademy, even for those who are planning to start their CAT 2022 preparation. That's a very, very good idea. CAT practice papers. Now, if I talk about free sectional marks, then on 12th of November, Friday, QA will be there. Right? November 22, on Monday, VRC will be there. On 24th of November, Wednesday, LRDI. 26th November, Friday, QA. The time would be 6 to half past 6. These are the dates, 12, 22, 24 and 26. Please block your calendars for all these sections. Let's go ahead. Next one. Ask a doubt feature is there, right? New feature available to the learners, those who have installed the latest version of the Unacademy app and Android operating system. You'll get the benefit. You can raise a query, you can raise a doubt, you'll get instant solutions to lakhs of questions, and of course the solution could be in Hindi or English as per your convenience. Questions, definitely, if it is a unique, then you'll get a detailed video solution. Solutions available for the CAT category. Case study. What all you should know, all you need to know. Let's go ahead and find out what you should know. Now the big question is that, ma'am, what exactly is a case study? We have a vague idea. We know a little bit about it, but what exactly is a case study? Let's have some discussion over it. Let's throw some light on this topic and let's make our lives clear. Now, basically, it's a fact-based data. You get not just, some problem statement which is based on hypothetical, not only just hypothetical case or some word problem. It's a fact-based data, and it's how it is extracted. It's extracted from a real business scenario, right? Whatever real business scenarios you are going to face in the area of marketing, human resource management, finance, operations, from those areas, some standard business situations, they have been taken, and of course solutions have been provided on those scenarios. Next, if case study is actually fact-based data extracted from real business scenarios, so you have not completed, and you have not even entered to an MBA course. So what is expected from you in a case study? In the sense, case studies are meant to be there in your MBA curriculum. But the stage where we all are sitting, case studies are expected from you in the entrance exam to actually qualify the pre-MBA stage. So what is expected? Why they are giving you a case study? Let's find out. Basically, case study is not just a word problem as I just shared with you. It's a combination of reading comprehension and DI. Yes, you all heard it correctly. Please write it in the chat box. The live chat, case study is equal to RC plus DI. Now, this is a good question. This is an important topic where we are actually aligning ourselves with the DI part. But to cut the long story short, yes, this should be the formula that you should keep in your mind. It's not just a reading. You don't just have to read the case. No. You have to solve the case. You have to present the case with the help of DI. If you're good in RC, they're going to test you on RC again and DI again, as I shared with you. What is expected out of you? What is expected from you in a case study? You have not entered into an MBA. You are not just an MBA student. You're not an MBA student, you have not even entered the first year, then why they are expecting case study? Because they expect you to be an expert in the reading comprehension and the data interpretation. It's a combination, it's an amalgamation of reading comprehension and data interpretation. Now the question is RC, yes. We can understand to a larger extent RC should be strong, because again in case study, we have to read the problem statement. But why DI? So let's go ahead first of all in RC. Why we can say that case study is more or less similar to an RC? Because it's testing your skills. What kind of skills? Your reading skills. Look here. Your ability to explicate data, your reading skills, your ability to explicate data. Then, of course, you have explicated data, you have read the case. What is expected? Yeah, you should come up with alternatives. You should evaluate the alternatives. You should not only come up with the alternatives, but apart from coming up with, one, two, three, or, maybe couple of solutions, you have to evaluate those solutions. You have to evaluate, and you should evaluate alternatives or solutions available and recommend one among them, which is of course the best one, the optimal one. Now why? Because you're based on that, you're going to make a right decision. You're suggesting, you're saying that you have studied the case, like you read a reading comprehension and you solve the questions. The only difference is that in a reading comprehension, questions are already given. But in a case study, you have to form questions and only you have to answer that. So this proves this evaluates your decision making capability. And it is very, very, very necessary in management education. They are going to check whether you are a good decision maker or not. And case study is just one step in that, right? It is one of the steps. Now the next question, why DI, ma'am? What are they going to test us in the data interpretation? DI. Actually, why DI? Because it will make you explore your analytical skills. Quantitative analysis. Are you able to analyze the case study? How well have you analyzed the case study? Because here you are the boss. You have to read the case, you have to create the questions, even you have to answer the questions that you have created. And accordingly, you have to answer the main question that has been asked in the problem statement in the case study. So, case study, I'm repeating again, is an RC because it tests your reading skills, your ability to form questions, your ability to take decisions. And why DI? It tests your analytical skills, your quantitative analysis. Are you able to compare and contrast the data? Are you able to develop some recommendations? And are you able to gather some insights? Are you able to spot some trends in that particular sector or industry? And then you have to determine the conclusion. So I'm repeating again, why DI? RC you all have understood, but why DI? Because it tests your quantitative ability. It tests your analytical skills. It tests your, whether you're able to do some comparison, some contrast with the data. Are you able to get some insights, some industry trends from the data? Lastly, are you able to determine the conclusion? Next, are there any different types of case studies that you're going to encounter in the exam? Like what kind of case studies you're going to encounter in the exam? Are there different types, or there is just one type? Let's go ahead and find out. So question number 1, what is a case study? Question number 2, why case study is expected from you at this stage of your life? That also you have understood very clearly, because if you have become a master of RC and DI, then you would be able to solve the case study as well, right? To a larger extent, I would say RC. Now, what are the different types of case studies? What all case studies are there? So broadly speaking, if you're very broadly, there are just two kinds of case studies. Like case studies where you have to take decision, where you are evaluated on your decision making abilities, right? Next, where no decision making is required. No, you don't have to make some decision. You have to discuss and analyze the case at hand. A case has been given to you. You don't have to take any decision over it. You just have to discuss and analyze this case at hand. I'll again tell you, broadly speaking, there are two types of case studies. Option 1, or first type of case study, is the case study where your decision making capabilities are evaluated. You have to take a decision. Case study number 2, you don't have to take a decision. No decision is required. You just have to discuss and analyze the case given to you in the form of problem statement. Next, types of case studies in terms of functional cases or management functions. What are the types of case studies? If now we talk that there are two types of case studies, but if I talk about case studies in terms of functional cases, or if I talk about management functions, then is there further segregation of case studies? Yes, there is. Let's go ahead and find out. A marketing case study. Yes, a case study could be based on a marketing case study. Finance case study. Human resource based case study. Operations case study. Please note it down. Broadly speaking, earlier there were just two types of case studies. Now, based on the management functions, based on the functional cases, there are four. That is marketing, finance, HR, and operations case study. Now, the big question is, what is this marketing case study? If it comes to you, how will you identify that, oh, I have got a marketing case study. Oh, this is what is expected out of me. Basically, a marketing case study. What is the main function of a marketing case study? What is expected from you? Generally, a marketing case study aims to persuade that a particular process, product, or a particular service can solve the problem, maybe your client's problem, your customer's problem. The whole sole aim of a marketing case is to persuade your clients or customers that if you are the company, your product, your service, or your process will solve customers' problem. What are the examples of marketing case studies? Actually, you are expected to generate revenue for a brand, for a company, for an organization. You're expected that you should generate a revenue. Segmentation, target, positioning, that is, well-known. These are the three well-known terms, STP. Pricing, then there are 4 Ps, right? So basically, you try to think, whenever you get a marketing case study, think in your mind that, am I expected to generate a revenue? Is it a segmentation kind of a case study? Is it a targeting? Is it positioning? Is it all about pricing? I need to increase or lower down the price of a particular product or service? Or am I expected to enter into a new market, a new vertical, a new industry? Is it, and even sometimes a new geography? Is it all about competitive strategy, that the pricing of my product or the features of my product are being compared to the products of some other XYZ company? Is it about ad campaign, that campaign that is supposed to be run should generate again this much number of leads or this much number of conversions or impressions? So please note it down. This is very, very important. Please note it down that what a marketing case study is expected, you are supposed to do in a marketing case study. Next, if I talk about the case studies in finance, what exactly is expected from you, or what is the basic purpose of a case study in finance? You have to link your managerial decisions to capital markets. At the end of the day, money matters. So your decisions are supposed to be linked to the capital markets, the expectations of investors, whatever investors have invested in your company. What are they expecting? Like how you're going to link your managerial decisions to the capital investment, to the capital markets. So point number 1, your decision should be linked with the capital markets as well as the expectations of your investors. No, I did not say customers. Please note down the point, write this word in marketing, customers. The pricing was involved around customers. But in finance, the pricing or the decision revolves around investors. Next, What are the examples of some finance case studies? Like whenever you get a case study, how will you come to know that this case study belongs to the marketing department or this case study belongs to the finance department? When you have to adopt some new accounting policies, when you have to evaluate cash flows. Trust me, adopting new accounting policies, evaluating cash flows, the debt equity mix, the balance of the company. This is where you are expected to solve a case study in finance. Next, now finance we are done. Marketing was around customers, finance was around investors, it was centered majorly around investors. What about the purpose of human resource? Yes, you all of you, can you tell me one word? If marketing is equal to it's revolved, it's centered around customer, finance about investor, can you tell me about human resource? That one word, that human resource is centered around what? Employees? Is it everybody all across India, all across the world? It's about employees, customers. At the end of the day, there should be 360-degree development. So, the purpose of a human resource manager, it falls into three major areas. That is staffing, right? Employee compensation and benefits, defining or designing work. I'm again repeating, in the human resource management, staffing is a big issue. Then, of course, the welfare schemes, the compensation, the benefits, how you're going to define or design the work environment, the social environment. There are a lot of things that come under a human resource case study. But trust me, it's not going to be that tough, as is the case for marketing and finance. Now, how will you recognize if a case study, if a particular case study belongs to finance or marketing or human resource management? Now, examples of human resource management case studies, it include focus on adopting new appraisal format. Maybe it's a time of appraisal and the company has decided to adopt a new appraisal format. The forms that employees have to fill, the process they have to go through in order to qualify the appraisal. So maybe they are planning to adopt new appraisal format. Case study could be centered around that. Next, conflict between employees and management. As most of the time this happens, that maybe management has a different goal to pursue and employees think in just maybe some opposite or in different direction. So there could be a conflict, so you have to resolve the conflict resolution. I'm repeating again, even for all of you who are planning to make their careers in finance, marketing, HR, operations, or strategic management, I'm giving you one idea that what all marketing consists of, what all finance consists of, and what all comes under the human resource management. This session could prove useful to you in deciding even where you would like to pursue your career apart from solving the case studies, right? So there could be conflict between the employee and the management. So there could be a case study on conflict resolution as well. Next, employee benefits, that is maybe the welfare schemes. But everything requires budget. So, do you have the necessary budget to think about the employee welfare schemes or to do some employee benefits? So this is where human resource case studies come into play. Next, if I talk about operations, right? Operations is all about supply chain management, right? So those who are planning to have the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 supply, those who are planning to deal or those who are planning to make the career in this area, you have to deal with the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 suppliers, retailers, wholesalers, or how the product is ultimately being delivered to the end customer. That is what constitutes the supply chain management. So operations strategy, it provides the ability to improve products, services, and even, let me put it this way, service processes. The processes that you are following to deliver your product to the end customer, maybe you would like to improve that. So where that, see, marketing is all about the promotion. You just now said. Finance is all about the investors. Human resource is all about employees or the staff. But if I talk about operations, how will you come to know that you need to improve your product? You need to improve your service. You need to improve your processes. It comes under the operations category. The way you are actually carrying on or conducting your day-to-day operations, right, related to the supply chain. Next, what are the examples of operation case study? So the examples of operation case study include warehousing issues. Like, you can understand that there is a warehouse. Even the products that you're getting from Amazon or Flipkart or many other such, e-commerce websites are there. It's not directly coming that from Amazon somebody is, posting it on your postal address, sending it courier, doing courier to you on your postal address. No, there is a warehouse where the product comes, and from there the delivery boys pick it up and they deliver at your doorstep. This is, maybe there could be a lot of issues that are happening at the warehouse. There is no proper management. Maybe there are termites, insects, bugs. There need to be done some pest control. Then maybe the near expiry products are there, right? Then the warehouse person is not so equipped with the technology or many other things. There are a lot of, trust me, there could be a lot of warehouse issues. Then effective inventory management, that is why just in time, Kanban, all these things have come into play, because inventory is something when you stock up material for the future requirements. Let's say daily you get 10 orders, so you have calculated that by the end of the month you need 300 products, but on the occasion of Diwali, due to Diwali, it got doubled, but you don't have enough inventory, enough material with you. So now you are getting worried that I should have stocked up enough inventory, enough material so that I could have made profit, but now nothing can be done. On the other hand, on the contrary, let's say you assume that there is going to be a rush, there is going to be a peak in the sale. So you already ordered 1,000 pieces of your product, but the sale was not so high due to the pandemic or due to a number of other reasons. So instead of 1,000, you ended up selling only 500 products. What about the rest 500? Are you going to keep it till the next Diwali? So you need to work, and that is why Dell has come up with this JIT, just in time. This is, I want all of you to write in your live chat, JIT, JIT, just in time. And please today share the description, a short brief description of what is JIT and how it is considered as a useful tool in effective inventory management, right? All across India, all across the world. So whenever you come across such issues like effective inventory management, warehousing issues, immediately start thinking in your mind that yes, these are the operation case study issues. These are the issues that should come under an operation case study. Next. Now, of course, we discussed about the improvement in the product, the services, the processes. But what about there is an issue in the complete supply chain? The way your product is going into the market, right? There is an issue maybe of corruption, maybe of many other issues. Your product gets damaged in the distribution, right? Your distributors, your retailers, your end customers, your suppliers, your manufacturers. So ultimately the role of a manufacturer, supplier, ultimately someone will manufacture, If someone will manufacture, the complete manufacturing is usually not done by just one single manufacturer. There are tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 suppliers as well as manufacturers. Similarly, there is a proper way to distribute your product, right? And then once the distribution is done, it goes to retailers, and from retailers it goes to the end customer. So you need to improve that. If you feel like that your product is being damaged, in the transit, or maybe your damage could be through any of, there are number of factors through which your product could get damaged in the transit, right? So maybe now you're finding out ways, you're brainstorming with your team to find out ways to improve the supply chain management. Then you have to evaluate a raw material supplier, maybe the raw material ultimately. Just like if the foundation of a building is weak, ultimately the building will collapse one day. Similarly, if your raw material is not up to the mark, it's cheap, it's not of the highest quality, what will you do with the end product? The end product will be based on the if the raw material is not of high quality, how can you assure to your customers that your end product is of the best quality? So you need to evaluate your raw material suppliers, who's giving you the highest quality in the lowest price. Ultimately that has to be the mantra, and that is the mantra, irrespective of the fact whether I'll tell you or not. So when you come across these kind of case studies, class, all across India, all across the world, then you need to think that these are the case studies that come under the operations category. Next, there is a strategic case study as well. Like PMOs and all, they are usually into strategic management. Now, what is the purpose of a strategic analysis? What do you do in a strategic analysis? You analyze an organization's external as well as internal environment. By external, I mean your competitors. What are the products or what are the benchmarks that they are creating? Then you need to compare your product with them. There are a lot of factors. It's not only about your competitors, then again your suppliers, your manufacturers, right? Again, suppliers are further categorized into tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 suppliers. So how is your company's external environment? Do you need to change that? Do you need to work on that? There are a lot of factors. Trust me, I'm not just talking about manufacturers or competitors. There are a lot of other suppliers for many other things that are coming, that are, coming inside your company, your organization. Be it for the marketing, be it for the finance, be it for the HR, right? Be it for the operations. Actually, strategic management handles all the things, all the external and the internal environment as well. That means the role of a strategic manager is aligned with the roles of marketing, finance, operations, HR manager too. Next, what do you do? In a strategic management, what do? You assess the current strategies. Let's say HR manager has come up with strategy, or the management has come up with the strategy. You have to assess those current strategies. You have to generate and evaluate. Let's say people have come up with 4 or 5 some strategic alternatives. You have to evaluate which is the most successful strategic alternative. Now, what are the examples of strategic case study? So examples of strategic case studies include where you would be presented with problems. You have been given problems, you have been given issues spanning more than one topic. It's not like that the problem is just under marketing or finance or HR. No. There could be a problem. There could be, issues that are spawning in more than one domain or in more than one topic. What to do then? You need to get yourself aligned with the HR and the marketing, or maybe the finance and the marketing, or maybe with the marketing and the HR. That is what is the role of a strategic manager. So strategic cases, if I further elaborate on the strategic cases, so the strategic cases can further be classified into, like how the first type gives the participant a particular organizational problem. Like you'll get some organizational problem, and you'll be asked to make some strategic judgment to solve it. You have to do some strategic judgment to solve that, maybe a deadlock, maybe a situation that is, difficult to solve. This is what comes under strategic management or strategic case studies. Next, the second type. First, as I just shared with you, you'll be given a problem and you're asked to give a strategic judgment to give some strategic solution. Second type. If I talk about the second type, it presents all the information about the corporation, like related to all the sectors, 3-4 sectors. You'll be given complete information about the organization, right? And it's not like that it won't be pointing out to some flaw, some problem in the company. Then the big question is that, ma'am, if I have been given information about all the different sectors of the company, marketing, finance, HR, operations, then what am I supposed to do with that data, with those facts, with those figures? So basically, it is expected from you to show on the basis of information given that how the company is organized, which model is the company following, how is the company operating, how the overall structure, the management of the company is organized, right? So this is pretty easy case, the second one. You are not expected to do an amalgamation of RC or DI once again. RC will definitely remain, but you don't have to do so much calculations. It's just like that. You have been given information that this is how the company is operating in all the areas, in all the sectors, and it is expected from you that you should actually show that what is your understanding, how the company is organized, how the company is operating. Now, is there any third type of strategic management as well? And if yes, what kind of management is this? What kind of case study is this? If I talk about the third type, right, it presents the details of the decisions taken at the highest level of the organization. Let's say if you join any company, right from day one, you're not going to be the senior vice president, director, chairman, or CEO. But through these case studies, you'll get a chance to sneak peek into how the decisions are taken at the highest level. So details would be given to you, because decision making is the most tough thing, and decision making by the higher management, by the top management, the details of that decision would be there in the case study. So please understand that, oh, this is a strategic management kind of a case study. Next, what is expected out of you? What is that thing that you are supposed to do? So basically, you are asked to present your understanding of these decisions. Like, let's say maybe the senior vice president has taken some decision. So in the case study, you will be asked that, what is your understanding of the decision? If the senior vice president or the vice president or the CEO or the COO, chief operating officer, or the chief marketing officer or the chief financial officer, he or she has taken some decision, how it will affect the working of the organization. If let's say CMO, COO, CEO, they have taken some decision, or even the vice president or the senior vice presidents, or maybe the director level people, chairman level people, they have taken some decision. So how first you have to evaluate their decisions on what grounds? On the grounds that how it will affect the working of the organization. So that is the second step, but first step you have to analyze their decisions. That's a very good case study. Trust me, there is going to be a lot of learning there. Next, what about descriptive or illustrative case studies? Right, that just describe the situation which you have to analyze. Yeah, okay. Thus making it familiar with every detail attached. There'll be details, there'll be a situation, and you have to analyze that based on the details given. The results for the situation, and here you don't have to find out the result. The result will be there on the table. It's just like that. You don't have to make any decision. Decisions have already been created. solutions have already been given. You just have to discuss the case study. You have to analyze it only. You're not supposed to take any decision. That is what we call descriptive or illustrative case study. Solutions have already been given to you. It's just like that you could recommend or you could suggest that how these solutions could affect the working of an organization. That's it. Next, the why and the hows, like why this decision was taken, how the decision of this taken, and if it is a negative result, let's say the result did not go in the favor of the company, then if you can find out some way through which we would have avoided that solution, that is very good. I'm repeating once again. Let's suppose you get a case where everything is given. The details are already there, facts, figure, data, and result is also there. But for example, if the result is negative, then in that case study class, please listen to me. All across India, all across the world, please, in that case, always try to give a solution where you are suggesting that if the management has taken decision in this way, if they had taken some alternative path, or if they had come up with this solution through this method, it could have avoided that negative effect which you have right now gotten in front of you. That is where the interviewer will think that you are not just accepting the negative case. If something negative has come up in front of you, you are ready to think and change it. You are finding out. You are working in the direction when you are expected to reverse the situation. Perfectly fine. Very nice. Very good. Why you have to solve a case study? Why? See, management is all about solving complex problems. Let me tell you, all across India, marketing, finance, HR, operations, or be it strategic management, management is all about solving complex problems, and among those, you'll come up with the optimal or the best solution with lot of alternatives. And case study is no exception. Again, you have to understand a complex business problem. You have to ask the right questions. You have to find out the potential solutions, and from those solutions, you have to choose the best or the optimal solution out of many. That is what is expected of you. So basically, what are the steps involved in solving a case study? You identify the problem. First of all, a problem statement will be given to you. Identify the problem, the objective, or all the key issues in that case. What do I mean by that? Extract all the data. Extract all the facts and figures. Extract and arrange all the facts pertaining to that case. Next, examine. Now you have identified the problem, the key issues related to the case. Then examine the cause. What is the cause of the problem? Why the company? If there is a problem, find out the cause. Find out the issue, that why this has happened. Why a company could get into such kind of situation. Then mention the statements which would help define the problem more accurately. Basically, if you can mention some statement which would define the problem more accurately, which will help set goals and the nature of decision required, then you have to understand the environment in which the case is set. You'll note down all the constraints, the opportunities available, the resources available, and under those categories, this case has been executed. So you have to jot down the environment as well, the case environment, and where the case was set down under these constraints, opportunities, and resources. Next, identify the shortfall. There is something which is lacking. Try to identify that shortfall of information. There could be a paradox somewhere. Then make a realistic assumption. Whatever assumption you're going to make, make a realistic assumption. And then if you don't do realistic assumptions, you'll never reach the right set of numbers. So just set some boundaries. do some realistic assumption, but that always, right, relevant to the case. It should not be unreasonable. Next, there must be, like, you have identified shortfalls. Just now you have identified shortfalls of information. Similarly, find out there is a gap in the data when you're writing the keywords, when you're filling in the data by making assumption. Similarly, find out the gaps in the data. Now make some assumptions. Your assumptions should be well defined within the boundaries. It should be pertinent to the case. It should be relevant to the case. So assumptions should be clearly stated, and reason should also be clearly stated, that why you have made that assumption. Why do you think that, if you are taking some number, that this should be 50, why it can't be 100? There should be reasons in a case study that why you have chosen that particular number and not the other number. Everybody getting it all across India? Diamond clear, pellucid, everybody? Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Okay, let's go ahead. So create alternatives. Now let's say you have understood the problem, you have defined the variables, you have taken the assumptions, you have find out the gaps in the data, you have taken assumptions within the boundaries, you have decided why this number, why not the other number. Then come up with the alternatives. Don't just say that you have only one solution and this is the best. No, that is not how managers and leaders work. Give up 3-4 solutions, that this could also work, this could also work, this could also work. So create alternatives or possible courses of action that are within the purview of the organization goals. Of course, the alternative should not be, it should be aligned with the company's vision, mission, goals and objectives. It should not be completely off with the company's vision, mission or objectives. Next, now you have given some 3, 4, 5 alternatives or solutions. What is expected? Like, you have just worked like someone that you got a problem, like, and you said this could be done, this medicine could be taken, this medicine could be taken, this. Can you suggest some final alternative, and can you justify that? Yes, out of those alternatives you have to choose the best one and you have to justify it. Let's take an example. So for example, let's solve a case study all across India, live solving of a case study. Please everybody listen to me. There was a company that was founded in 1997. Relby is a renowned brand of car brake pads in the American market, right? So note it down, the keywords Relby, right? Car brake pads in the American market. Mr. Hughes, since then, Mr. Hughes is the owner and founder. So Mr. Hughes is the owner and founder of Relby. Next, he is taking care of this vertical since the inception, right? In 2011, it was decided that they are going to diversify. There was an horizontal diversification. And what they did? They added a new portfolio to this vertical. So a decision to expand the product line was taken. So what was the situation? Car brake pads. The firm is of car brake pads. Mr. Hughes is the owner. But then they decided to diversify. They decided to expand by adding the brake pad for this new product was the brake pad for the hoist trucks. Earlier it was only for cars, but now they have decided to diversify or expand their product for the trucks as well, and that to hoist trucks. So concomitantly, that is at the same time, Mr. Smith became the director of sales and marketing. So there is a entry of another proper noun, that is Mr. Smith. So he became the head of sales and marketing in that company, Relby. Now this is the case. See, I have not even started solving the question. This is a problem statement. As expected, sale of the brake pads for hoist truck was supposed to increase. Yes, if you are diversifying, if you are entering into new market, it is always expected that your sale should increase. If not exponentially, at least gradually. However, what happened? It began to fall gradually over a period of time. The newly appointed director, Mr. Smith, he wanted to reverse this trend. He did not like that, under his leadership, right? Under his umbrella, the sales of his products will start to decline. He wanted to reverse this trend. So he decided to market the product well by segmentation, targeting, and positioning. And of course, there must be a lot of categories, but then he wanted the geographic, demographic, psychographic, behavioral characteristics of the marketer segment. He wanted to divide potential customers into meaningful subgroups based on their characteristics and preferences. Then he wanted to do a strategic exercise to identify that how the product can uniquely help. In the sense, he was taking the help of several marketing campaigns. He wanted to run these ad campaigns, marketing campaigns, sales campaign to generate the revenue for the brand that he has recently diversified. But unfortunately, his request was turned down. It was rejected by the owner, Mr. Hughes. He stated that it's not gonna work. So at this stage, the share of Relby started facing major losses and its market share also started declining. So what happened? Mr. Hughes told Mr. Smith that he should show a turnaround in the organization within a year. Now, Mr. Smith got an ultimatum from Mr. Hughes that he is supposed to show a turnaround in the organization within a year. Now, what steps should Mr. Hughes take to save the organization from further damage? How will you analyze? First of all, identify the facts. Step number 1, you identify the fact that Relby is a leader in the US in the car brake pad market. Fact number 1. Fact number 2. Customers or mechanics of brake pad purchases, like who all buy your brake pad? Customers or mechanics? And customers or mechanics in the automobile market are quite intermittent. They don't buy it so frequently. Then step number 3, or the option number 3, right? Identification of the issue. Point number 3. Diversification of the hoist truck business was introduced. Why you did it, right? First of all, now you are doing it. That why this particular point is, and going to the fact, hinting at the fact that why you did it. Actually, you did it because you wanted to make use of the idle capacity during the periods of inactivity. That's why you diversified the car brake pad segment from the car brake pad segment to the brake pad segment of hoist truck. Now, considering this as a low growth industry, find out the CAGR, compound annual average growth rate. Here the compound annual growth rate is just 3.5%. The overall growth rate is very high, very low. So in this case, even the big clients, right, the sophisticated clients, they'll make purchase, but they'll only do it based on the price and quality because the overall CAGR is low. Even the big clients, the top shots, they'll buy, but their preferences will be based on the product and the quality, price and the quality. What about the smaller customers? Again, their procurement depends again only on the price. Now, what about the competitor? If you consider the competitors, the Chinese competitors are offering low price brake pads of compromise, but then that is of compromise quality, but at least if they are compromising on the quality, their pricing is very low. This is where we identify the facts. Step number 1, we identify the issues, we identify the facts. Step number 2, let's do a situational analysis. Company. Let's do a situational analysis about the company. C. Well-known leading player in the car brake pad. In the, which market was it? Asia Pacific, UK, US. Which market was Relby a leading brand of car brake pads? All across India, write down in your live chats. जो कार ब्रेक पैड का लीडर रेल्बी था, कौन सी ज्योग्राफी में लीडर था? एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट, यूएसए. नेक्स्ट, losing market share. So basically, if we did a situational analysis, we came to know that they are losing the market share in the truck brake pads. Then we realized that Mr. Hughes was not willing to change his resistance change. He was not willing. Then we did about the company, now about the competition or the competitors. They are offering low price product, as we saw in the case of a Chinese competitor. They are gaining market share, foreign competitors. What about company? What about competitors or the competition? And what about customers? High quality product. They want high quality product. But price sensitivity is a concern for low end customers. Price sensitivity, they are interested in the price. They are not so much interested in the quality. For the low end customers, they are only interested in the price. Now define the problem. You said that the product is mismanaged, the product expansion is mismanaged in a market. Their low price is a major concern. Suggest the alternatives. Create a separate brand for the hoist truck business. Create awareness for the customers about the superior. You please create an awareness. Do some marketing that you are offering a superior product quality and that is why you are charging. Alternative 3. Please exit the hoist truck brake pad business. Leave that. If you are having losses, if you are losing the market share, leave that. Now, evaluate these alternatives. Creating the company's quality image. You have to increase your market share. You have to increase sales. You have to, manage the cost of the product. Now, evaluate. If we are going to evaluate. Alternative 1. Save organization's quality image in the automobile industry. You have to do that. You have to save their image. You have to save their brand. Do a makeover. Do a makeover of the product. Just if you need to lower the manufacturing costs, do some makeover of the product in order to meet the price sensitivity of the market or the price inclination towards a low price. Pricing should be competitive enough to compete even with the Chinese manufacturer. Your pricing should be competitive enough. Alternative 2. Make use of the quality leadership. Right? Somebody must be having the quality leadership in the car brake pad. You can say that we are the leaders in the quality. If you don't want to compromise on the price, then raise your bar in the quality segment. See, you have realized that you cannot lower down the cost of your product. Raise your standards. Establish the quality leadership in the car brake pad or the truck brake pad market. Rather, I would say in both of them. Offer other things, reliability, testing, extended warranties. That's how you'll promote the quality image. That even if we are the market leaders in quality, we are offering you reliability, testing or extended warranties. Set higher prices. You can set higher prices to extract surplus. In case you have developed the quality leadership, then you can set the higher prices and then you can extract the surplus from these advantages. See, you're not charging here for the product, but you're charging from these services. There should be a passive strategy, not a proactive strategy. Recommendation alternative 1 is recommended in this case. Why? Because the firm operates in an industry which has a low CAGR of 3.25%. So it can increase market share and sales only by taking customers from other players. You have to take the customer from other players. So that is why alternative 1 is recommended. So you need to handle your Chinese competitor directly by pricing your product aggressively. Please, it's a price sensitive market that we have understood through this case. So place your product so that you can handle your Chinese customer directly, right? So concurrently you launch a low price product. You keep this product, and what you could do is that you can also launch a low price product under the same brand name. Whatever you're doing it for the hoist truck brake pads, do it the same under the same brand name. Destroy the high quality image in the car brake pad market. The best option is to go for an off brand. To target the brake pad, go for an off brand. So customers who are increasingly become price sensitive, for them, those who are clearly price sensitive, launch a product for them as well. Keep a product for the high end customers, launch a product for the low end customers. So how will it benefit? It will empower the company to ward off the threat in a short period of time, and the company will be able to build its position strongly in the long term. Now, one last case study before I leave. This is a case study where only this much case is given, this much problem is given, that the government is planning a multi-level parking structure for the visitors of some PS market. And what you are expected to do, look here. This is the question: what should be the capacity of this parking structure? Multi-level parking structure is being built in some market, and you are asked what should be the capacity. Here you should use all your concepts of DI. First of all, identify and break the problem. Assume figures for all the variables. For example, how many entry points are there in the market? How many average visitors are there per hour per entry point? Take some number, like there are maybe 10 entry points. Why not 20? Justify that. How many visitors per hour per entry point? Take again some number, justify why this number, why not the other one. Average operational hours, maybe out of 10 entry points, 5 entry points are only from 12 to 5. Others are from maybe 10 to 8. Average number of visitors in the market per day. Percentage of visitors using the parking. All of them are not using the parking. Maybe some of them are coming through cabs, right? 3-wheelers, 2-wheelers, by walk, right? So in that case, you have to get the numbers and you have to justify why you have taken that particular number. Then again, you have to think that how many visitors are coming in groups. Maybe let's say you come by walk, but you called one of your friend and he's coming by car. Even if you are talking about the parking structure, shopkeepers in the market, they are having their cards. How many number of shopkeepers? And if we assume, we have done an assumption that one car per shopkeeper, then how many shopkeepers, how many number of cars? What is the average parking time, so that whatever is coming is also going as well? Is it 1 hour? If 1 hour, why only 1 hour? Why not 2 hours? That is how you have to do when you get such kinds of case studies. What is the peak load capacity? And during peak load capacity, it's not the case that every day is a peak load day. It's only during festivals, holidays. Then what is the margin in case you want to expand your capacity? How much margin is there for the capacity expansion? So such kind of case studies is a pure amalgamation of RC and DI. Here you have to assume the numbers and you have to answer the question that I just saw you, that what should be the capacity of this MLM, multi-level parking structure, MLP, multi-level parking structure. Now assume reasonable numbers within the boundaries. That is what is expected from you, and justify that. So in a nutshell, a case study is a scenario in a particular professional context where you are expected to analyze, respond, and you're guided by specific questions posed concerning the situation. What it involves: number of issues or problem that must be dealt with in a professional workplace. It requires you to identify a problem or an issue in a scenario, demonstrate your knowledge of theories and professional policies. Then you need to make decisions and recommendations based on these, either to prevent or solve some of the issues. These issues won't come up in the future. So standard method is the identify the case according to the function, that is marketing, finance, operation, identify. Identify the key players or the stakeholder, that is competitors, customers, company. Identify the key issues or the problem. Ask relevant questions from the case preliminary reading. Run the scenario in your brain. Raise questions like what happened, why it happened, and most importantly, what needs to be done, right? So from these 2 or 3 assumptions based on your reading, create a situation like what if, try to fit the data, right? Try to do the calculation, the facts in each of them. Then start working on solving these problems. Whatever data you have collected, start working on solving the problem. Choose the best solution among the alternatives. So this is a YT assignment. You all are supposed to complete this YT assignment. Please do it, and I hope, really hope, that this session was useful for all of you. This will really help you to solve case studies in the future. At the end of the day, all the best to all of you from the core of my heart. I really wish all of you very best. You attain great heights in your career. So let us read, let us dance, because these 2 amusements will never do any harm to the world, not said by me, by Voltaire. So do 3 things. If you really like the session, if you have understood at least the ABC of a case study, then like, comment, and share. So this is Shruti Kaura signing off for today. I'll come up with more such interesting topics to help you go to a level which you see for yourself, and one day you'll become an expert, trust me. Alright, goodbye, take care.